RUT-7 to my Illinois folks. Illinois folks, we're going to go over the RUT-7, the Rolling Stock Certification of Motor Vehicles and Trailers. So just that term right there sounds so significant, right? Rolling Stock Certification, when in actuality, all it is a sales use exemption, and they call it something different. So this is specific to Illinois. All right. And so basically, we're going to go over some general information, and then I'm going to try to kind of articulate as best as I can. So the purpose of the RUT, the Rolling Stock Certification for motor vehicles, MV, and trailers, and sometimes repairs and replacement parts as well. After this specific date, August 24th of 2017, it allows the purchaser to certify, right? The purchaser to certify to the seller that the purchaser is allowed an exemption from sales and use tax. All right. So if you're the purchaser, you're purchasing a motor vehicle, okay, a semi big rig that you're planning to operate for hire, right? And you're planning to cross state lines, right? You're planning to operate. You're planning to go into operations, right? You're planning to travel across state lines, and you're getting ready to purchase. You're the buyer. You're getting ready to purchase a commercial vehicle. So at that point, you can qualify for an exemption for sales and use tax, right? And so that's the purpose of the RUT-7 form. Now, let's just say you're having repairs and replacement parts that you're also purchasing, then that will fall under the RUT-7A. All right, again, if this purchase is made after August 24th of 2017, you can use this exemption. It's an exemption for sales and use tax for the purchase of repair and replacement parts for motor vehicles as well as the trailers. All right. So you can claim this exemption. You must be the owner, or you can be the lessor, or the shipper that's purchasing the tangible personal property that will be utilized by interstate carriers. And again, this is for interstate carriers for hire. So I'm just reading from the Illinois Department of Revenue RUT-7 instructions, and I'm just trying to articulate it as best and put it in layman terms so that we all can make sense of it. Again, this is for sales, the exemption of sales use tax, and this isn't to be filed any particular place. You're going to complete the form, and as you complete the form and sign, you're going to give it back to the salesman, the person that's actually selling you that commercial vehicle, right? You're the purchaser. And so you need to keep this for your records, and they need to keep it for their records. Does that make sense so far? Okay, so to qualify for the sales use exemption, I'm going to call it that, but the proper term is the rolling stock exemption. The motor vehicle or trailer must be used to transport persons or property for hire. So we know what that is. Property for hire can be freight, can be goods, things of that nature. The motor vehicle trailer must be used to transport persons or property for hire. The purchaser must certify that the motor vehicle or trailer will be used by an interstate carrier. That's you. That's the MC for hire, who holds a active U.S. DOT number, a active U.S. Department of Transportation number. It must be active. You must be authorized for hire in order to qualify for this exemption, right? All right, Illinois, hope you're listening up. So here's a good question. May a lessor claim the exemption? Yes. The lessor. I said lesser. The lessor. May a lessor claim the exemption? Yes. Purchasers who will be leasing a motor vehicle or trailer may claim the exemption. And again, we just went over who may claim the exemption. That would be a motor vehicle or trailer who must be used to transport property, etc., etc. So How do you document the exemption? To document the rolling stock exemption, you must properly complete the RUT-7 form. All right, you must provide the USDOT number. A purchase that otherwise meet the requirements for exemption will only qualify if the purchaser can supply an active USDOT number. All right, so you have to have an active USDOT number, and you are actively authorized for hire. You're crossing state lines, so you're in business, right? You're in business. You bought this vehicle to be in business, to use. And because of that, you can qualify for sales and use tax exemption. And how do you do that? You do that through the RUT-7 form, in which you will keep in your records, and the salesperson, sales company will keep in their records. So let's just go over real quick the actual form. Step one, you're going to identify the purchaser, right? And that's self-explanatory. If you're the purchaser, then you're going to write the name and the address, city, state, and zip code. Okay. Now, once you enter the name and the address and the telephone number, if the purchaser, let's say, is a lessor who will lease the item, all right, you will complete step 2. If the item is not being purchased for purposes of a lease, you're going to proceed directly to step 3. All right, let's scroll down here. Step 4, you're basically confirming that the purchase qualifies for the rolling stock exemption. So what makes it qualified? An active USDOT number, as we mentioned before. Whether you are purchasing a motor vehicle or trailer or repair and replacement parts for the MV or the trailer, check each box to confirm that this purchase meets that criteria. All right. You must provide the carrier's active USDOT number. That has to be there. It has to be active, and indicate whether you are authorized for hire or you're exempt, or you're both. You can be both. Okay, does that make sense so far? So for purchases of repair and replacement parts, you must also select either 1 or 2, right under here, 1 or 2. In order to complete that, you have to complete 1 or 2. Okay, under the single purchase or blanket certification. If you select 2, enter the percentage of the purchase that qualifies or will qualify for the rolling stock exemption. In other words, for the sales use tax exemption. Okay, so note, purchases of repair or replacement parts on or after August 24th, 2017 are exempt only if they meet that current test for exemption. And we went over that current test, regardless of when the motor vehicle or trailer was purchased. All right, so let's certify at step 5. The individual making the purchase must sign and date the certification. Print his or her name, and as appropriate, provide the purchaser's business name. All right, the purchaser's business name. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm glad you can join us for that quick